Hello everyone, I wanted to give a little update on the NeoArts that I had swatched out the last time. I decided to use some mineral spirits and other things on them, and I wanted you to know a good one to use for them. I had shown you that I did, this was my first like little task, and I did a little topper on it, and then we also did this one, which I had a paper in between, but it's pretty well dry, except in the really heavy spots it can feel, and we did that all with pretty much with this and put a few pencils over it. So what I wanted to do is, recently I got some Miracle Medium by Micheal Harding and some of the oil paint medium. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try those, but if I'm going to try those, I'm going to go ahead and try a whole bunch of things. So I started playing around with some of the swatches that I had originally done of all the NeoArt colors. And this was NeoArt, this was Neo 1, and this was Neo 2. And obviously the mineral spirits and stuff didn't move the Neo color 2 because it's water soluble. So I did an even swatch of a NeoArt, and this was Daniel Smith walnut oil, and it smudged it, but it didn't really do too much to it. So then I tried regular, like that Mona Lisa odorless mineral spirits, and it did smudge it, but it kind of ate away some of the pigment, and it kind of stuttered as I was pulling it out. And then I went ahead and I did the lavender brush cleaner, basically a lavender smelling odorless spirit type product, but with the consistency being a little bit, and it did a little bit better. It only kind of started to tug a little bit, not quite as much as the normal mineral spirits. And then I went ahead and I used the Micheal Harding, this medium solvent that I had just gotten, that I had wanted to try for so long, and it pulled through really clean. I mean, it did start getting dry, and they dry very fast, so that's why you kind of see where it starts drying so fast that you can barely get anything. This one pulled out really smooth though. It almost has a little bit of moisture, more moisture to it, which I really kind of felt that it gave a smoother appearance. But then I'm like, well, I might as well try the mediums. Even though the Daniel Smith walnut oil didn't move anything, maybe this did. So this oil paint medium had even a slicker feeling and kind of gave even a better pull through. And neither one of these Micheal Harding ones ate up as much of the pigment on the initial drop. You can see that they're kind of, I'll give you a closer view in a minute, they're kind of speckled on where the pigment kind of got eaten up a little bit. You get that a little bit on all of them, but more so on the regular mineral spirits. And this one pulled through really nice and really smooth. And then I thought I would try one of the mediums. I actually tried both of them, but the fat actually worked better on these lavender Chelsea Classical Studio. They all smell like lavender. And the fat medium worked better than the lean medium, but nowhere near the pull through on the medium, the Miracle medium oil. So what I wanted to do is I want to see if these actually blend. So I thought we'd do a little test. Let's take that same green color and let's do something like, I don't know, bright blue. And I want to see if we can get them to blend together. Let's do the green that we were doing, and let's do something light like a yellow. And I want to see if I take that medium, if I can get these colors to blend smoothly in some sort of way. Okay, I got my nice kind of stiff flat brush, It is a silver short bright number 8 Monza, and hopefully I will do the solvent on one side and I'll do the medium on the other side and see if we can get the colors to blend. And then we're going to take a pencil over it and see if you get better results at putting, oops, I had a little extra on there. Yellow does not look as mobile. They blend together a little bit. I wouldn't call that a completely smooth blend, and I do see it eating up a little bit of the pigment in this area. So let me go ahead and just gonna clean the brush off a little bit, and we'll get out that medium and see how much different that one does. Let's go ahead and let's get a little bit more pigment going on here. I know I'm making a mess out of this page, but it's a test page. It's supposed to be a mess. And let's see if this will actually blend things along. It's this one, the Miracle Medium. I had the smoothest blend from this one on the test. And those blended quite nicely. I'm just going to clean the brush so I can start in the yellow since it's so much lighter. Alright, so it did do better. This, let me get the top on it. This did the best out of blending everything without eating up the pigment. And what I want to do is I want to take something like this, and we're just going to go over and see how well it goes over. Now, I did these last night, so they've had time to completely dry. And it's still a little transparent. Let's go over with something like a bright red. They go over pretty easily. And let's go ahead and try a couple of pencils to see if we melt them down like that. Can we use them as a base layer and the pencil will go over it really nicely? And it actually goes over it really nicely, much better than in its thicker form. Yeah, it goes over really nicely. And let me just go over some of the thicker swatches. Yeah, look at that or that compared to these down here after it's been melted down. So you could use these, the NeoArts, as a base layer if you kind of melt them down and then do pencil or more of the crayon right over it very easily. Because otherwise these are, the pencils and stuff don't like to go over them because they're just too creamy, thick, chunky kind of feeling. As you could see up here, it doesn't, I mean, it goes over it, and that's not even put down really heavily, but it really kind of, and down here you can really see the lines. So if you melt the product down, you can definitely go ahead and get that. Now, I'm wondering if I put more layers like this down, can we melt it and actually make more colors? So let's go ahead and try that while we're at it. Maybe I didn't put enough down. Let's try the yellow a little bit. Yeah, the yellow did make a lighter green really nicely right through here. Kind of blended it up real nice. The red I can't really see. Let's go ahead and put down more red and see if we can get that to kind of neutralize and come out to a gray. And by the way, these Miracle things, they don't smell real bad. Like the lavender can become quite powerful, and the odorless mineral spirits, I can speak, can kind of become a little much. These are very mild. Okay, it kind of stayed exactly where I put it. You can still kind of see the line, and it did kind of gray that out a little bit. The yellow kind of mushed more in. I think it's dependent on how much you use of the medium. So I'm going to say that this is a total win for getting more out of these NeoArts, that they're not just a topper, because that's basically how I was just going to use them on top of my watercolor, that they're actually, you can use them as a base coat to the pencils, and the pencils will go right over them. Like over here, you can barely see the pencil where the thick stroke is, but you do that over here and it goes right over it after it's been melted and dried down. I wonder, these are still a little damp, but let's go ahead and try. It goes over it. It goes over it a lot better than on the thick parts like that did. So I hope this helps at giving you more to do with your NeoArts. I had wanted to kind of, as soon as I found this and started playing with it, I had to share so that in case you were looking for doing more with your NeoArts in your mixed media pieces or anything like that, that you would be able to see what can be done and what you would need to buy. And basically, I would say not even the Miracle Medium works, the solvent stuff, but I would say just get the oil paint medium, and in a tiny bottle like this, I think it's basically going to last you forever, and it was only a few dollars. It wasn't super expensive. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.